Pyrophobia is the intense, irrational fear of fire, a phobia that can turn everyday moments like lighting a candle, using a stove, or even seeing a fireplace into sources of overwhelming anxiety. While a healthy respect for fire is normal and protective, pyrophobia goes far beyond caution. It is a response where the brain treats any exposure to fire, no matter how controlled or small, as an immediate life-threatening danger. What pyrophobia is? Pyrophobia is a specific phobia focused on fire, flames, smoke, burning smells, and sometimes even heat or the color red-orange. A person with pyrophobia may experience rapid heartbeat, sweating, trembling, chest tightness, difficulty breathing, and an urgent need to escape when confronted with fire in any form. Some people cannot tolerate being near gas stoves, fireplaces, campfires, or even birthday candles. The fear often extends beyond direct exposure. People with pyrophobia may obsessively check appliances, avoid cooking, refuse to stay in buildings without visible fire exits, or experience intrusive thoughts about their home burning down. They may avoid entire activities, camping trips, barbecues, restaurants with open kitchens, or holiday celebrations involving candles. For some, even watching fire on television or in movies triggers intense discomfort. Why pyrophobia develops? Pyrophobia typically originates from a traumatic fire-related experience. This might include being caught in a house fire, witnessing a severe burn injury, seeing a building engulfed in flames, or experiencing smoke inhalation. The brain encodes these moments as existential threats, creating a lasting association. Fire equals death, pain, and loss of control. Childhood experiences are particularly influential. A child who gets burned by a hot surface, sees a loved one injured by fire, or is exposed to frightening fire safety videos at school may develop a heightened fear response. If caregivers react with extreme fear around fire, panicking when a candle tips over or repeatedly warning that fire will destroy everything, the child internalizes that fire is unpredictable and catastrophic. Media and cultural narratives amplify this fear. News coverage of devastating wildfires, house fires, and burn victims creates a perception that fire-related disasters are common and unavoidable. Horror films and disaster movies often use fire as a symbol of destruction and chaos, reinforcing the idea that fire cannot be controlled. Personality traits also play a role. People with generalized anxiety, obsessive-compulsive tendencies, or a history of trauma may be more vulnerable to developing pyrophobia. Perfectionists who fear losing control often struggle with fire because it represents something unpredictable and powerful. How the fear maintains itself. Pyrophobia is kept alive through avoidance and catastrophic thinking. When someone refuses to use a stove, light a match, or enter a room with a fireplace, they experience immediate relief. But this reinforces the belief that fire is genuinely dangerous and that only avoidance keeps them safe. Over time, the avoidance expands. First it is candles, then gas appliances, then entire social events. Hypervigilance also fuels the phobia. The person constantly scans their environment for fire risks, checking outlets, sniffing for smoke, watching for sparks, and mentally rehearsing escape plans. This vigilance keeps the nervous system on high alert, making every small flicker or warm sensation feel like confirmation that disaster is near. Intrusive thoughts are common. The person may imagine their home burning while they sleep, see mental images of loved ones trapped in flames, or believe that they will cause a fire through carelessness. These thoughts feel real and urgent, even though they are driven by anxiety, not actual risk. Treatment and recovery. Pyrophobia is treatable, and many people successfully reduce their fear to a manageable level. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is one of the most effective approaches. In CBT, the person learns to identify catastrophic thoughts, such as, if I light a candle, the house will burn down, or fire is always out of control, and challenge them with evidence-based alternatives. Like, millions of people safely use candles every day, or fire can be controlled with proper precautions. Exposure therapy is a critical component. Because fire cannot be completely avoided in daily life, gradual exposure helps retrain the brain's threat response. Treatment might begin with looking at images of fire, then watching videos of controlled flames, then being in the same room as a candle behind glass, and eventually lighting a match or candle under supervision. Each step is repeated until the anxiety naturally decreases. Psychoeducation is also valuable. Learning how fire actually works, what conditions are needed for it to spread, how fire suppression systems function, and what realistic safety measures look like, can reduce the sense of mystery and unpredictability. Understanding that fire is a tool humans have controlled for thousands of years helps shift the narrative from fire is chaos to fire is manageable. Relaxation and grounding techniques help manage the physical symptoms of panic. Deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and mindfulness exercises can calm the nervous system during exposure. Some therapists also use virtual reality exposure, allowing safe, controlled interaction with fire in a simulated environment. In cases where pyrophobia is linked to severe trauma or PTSD, trauma-focused therapy such as EMDR, eye movement desensitization, and reprocessing may be recommended. Medication for anxiety can be used as a support tool, especially in the early stages of treatment, but it works best when combined with therapy. Living beyond the fear. The goal is not to eliminate all caution around fire. That would be unsafe. The goal is to separate realistic safety practices from irrational panic. With treatment, people with pyrophobia can cook meals, enjoy candlelit dinners, sit by campfires, and live in homes with fireplaces without constant dread. The fear may never disappear entirely, but it stops dictating life choices, and that is where freedom begins.